More fear porn about the lobster industry in Maine. It seems like this happens over and over again, and it's just fear porn from the climate Nazis. I'm so sick of these guys, especially as we're going through COP26. Oh my goodness, where's Sniffy Joe? Where'd he poop his pants when he's talking to the Pope or the climate change conference? All right, so here's what's up with that: scary Halloween cartoons, global warming in the Gulf of Maine. And what he's going to say is, got this in 2014, 7 years ago, we had this cartoon, A Climate Calamity in the Gulf of Maine. The lobster pot heats up. And the premise is with CO2 increasing and global temperatures increasing, the lobsters are going to evacuate from Maine because it's too warm for them to live, and they're going to go north to Canada, and all the Maine fisheries will be dead and will die. It's insanely insane. So we're going to go here. Insanely insane, pretty good. Historical Maine lobster landings. All right, this is the blue, and you can see is just exponential growth in lobsters that we've got, and that does concern me. Actually, we'll get in that here in just a second. Millions of pounds. All right, so we got 100 millions of pounds each year for the last 10 years, from 2010 till 2019. I guess 2020, we've had 100 million pounds of lobster. That is concerning to me, but it's not because of global temperatures increasing. Here's the water temp at Boothbury Harbor, the average right here, and you can see it's basically, actually I'm not sure what that scale is. That's Celsius, I guess 11 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what the Fahrenheit is. But anyway, you can see 11 degrees Celsius right there. That's the average water temp, if that makes sense. So you go back to 1950, it was at 10 degrees Celsius. You go to 2020, it's at 11 degrees Celsius. 2005, it was at 12 and a half degrees. Went down. So from right here, 2014, this is what the guy's saying, has gone up by 0.5% each year, essentially. Well, still well below where it was in the 1950s. Anyway, it's nuts. Just the whole thing's just crap. And then this guy goes on to talk about pH, the amount of pH in the ocean, and then you can see continuous monitoring station, Yarmouth, Maine, comparison of daily mean pH. Mean is just the average, and this is just for 1 year, but let's see. It's clear that pH is neither trending up or down, is highly variable both year to year and seasonally. 2018 had a range of 8.3 down to 7.85. Other years show a 0.24 pH unit range month to month, with winter months being higher, more basic, and summer months being lower, less basic, or as alarmists like to say, more acidy. So the acid in the water of the Gulf of Maine, they're saying is going to kill the lobsters. Compare Maine 2018 to the same months in red. So we got 2000. This is not 1 year, but still 2021. I don't like just using 5 years, but as an idea, 2017 the pH is here's 2021 in purple. It's on the same data set as 2017, 18, 19, 20. Now I don't know what it is before that. I don't know, but be that as it may. All right, we're not seeing a significant increase in pH in the water either. So not only are we not seeing a significant increase in temperatures, I mean we are if we start in 2014, but we're below where we were in 2004. All right, we're below where we were in 1950. We're not seeing a certain increase in pH either. All right, so that just the whole thing is just fear mongering. It drives me up the wall. But he's got lots of different data sets on pH. All right, but here's a concern I have. All right, so here's state of Maine, northern Quahog, isn't that where Peter Griffin from Family Guy has Quahog landings? All right, so this right here, live pounds. Notice 2009 and 10, all of a sudden we jump through look at that, we start going up skyrocketing. That's clams. Notice lobsters, 2010, well, basically we start really taking off 1992, but basically 2007, 8, has gone way up. That is a concern of mine, and I'm going to share with you why, because we're going to keep going down here. Look at this. Take this chart right here. This is cod, Atlantic cod fishery. From 1950 to 1970, it went up from, what's this, in pounds, I guess, millions of pounds. I'm not sure what this is right here, but you can see 0.75 to basically 2. So a 250% increase in the amount of cod that was captured, and then just fell. Passed some regulations to level it off, fell again. Now it's basically gone. That overfishing, some are saying a disease. Some are even trying to say it's because of fertilizer. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. But some will say it's because fertilization. using synthetic fertilizers going into the landfill or going into the ocean and killing off the cod. You can't. I mean, I guess you could say whatever you want, but I would say most likely overfishing for sure. Disease maybe. But anyway, it's very interesting. So my concern is, are we right here for the Maine lobsters? Now, it has nothing to do with climate change. It has nothing to do with fertilization using nitrogen fertilizer. Overfishing, absolutely, 100% might. Disease, I don't know. But what happens is the clam and the cod have fallen off of, just fallen. Look at this. Oyster harvest in the Chesapeake Bay. There's no more oyster harvesting. Isn't that crazy? Total economic value of the Chesapeake Bay oyster harvesting. So we know the cod has fallen off. There's no more Atlantic cod. I mean, a little bit, but not much. No more oyster harvesting. I mean, I don't know what to, now is this same thing going to happen to the clams? Same thing going to happen to the lobsters. You see what I'm saying? So are we up in both those places where the cod was right here? I don't know. But it's very interesting. So let's read some of the comments because you got some smart guys here, which I enjoy immensely. And I posted a comment just a second ago. My question as someone who grew up on an island in Maine is, what is the evidence, if any, that lobster populations could be on the brink of the cod or clam, or oysters, I should have said? Was there any evidence at the time that the cod was about to go the way of the dodo bird? Be interesting to see if there's some similarities between where the lobsters are as opposed to fear-mongering by the climate change Nazis, because they are friggin' Nazis, man. They want you. Let me just edit this real quick because I gotta make that the oyster, not the clam. So we're gonna hit edit of the oyster. Save. Because the clam, we don't know about the clam yet, but the clam looks kind of concerning to me. Here's a clam. I mean, is this the beginning of the precipice? Remember, precipice means everything's dropping from the top of the mountain there. Oh, that concerns me. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let's read some of the comments because some guys got some real good stuff in here, man. Let's see. I want to show you guys something real quick. Rudd says one interesting Gulf of Maine fact: cod are bottom feeders and prey on juvenile lobsters when molting. I guess that's growing. The overfishing of the cod predator resulting in the decrease in the juvenile lobster prey. So what that guy is indicating and implying is that because the cods were being overfished, that allowed more lobster to take over. They weren't getting eaten up as much. You know, the babies were coming to maturity. But this guy says that's one hypothesis. They worried that the bass, which are moving into the niche the cod occupied, will be preying on the little lobsters. That's one. Fact is, they don't really know. The population dynamics are just too variable. Temperature, predators, disease, food supply, and of course, ever-increasing pressure on the lobster harvest. So this guy said, 6 decades ago, I worked on the outer Virginia coast. Previous observations of the 1950s predicted warming. Saw small lobster sold for 50 cents caught in a crab trap, herring caught offshore in cold current going south. In 1994, I went to Nova Scotia Fisheries meeting a couple of papers on physical changes. As to cod, science of recruitment does not exist, a conclusion from a lifelong study of cold water fisheries. I don't know what that means. As for the Chesapeake, they also had probable exotic imported oyster disease. That's what he's saying is causing the oyster. But blaming certain primates are more important. Yeah, right here. Activists and government officials have been convinced that farms are flooding the Chesapeake with fertilizer runoff and animal fecal matter. Authorities assembled teams of experts to track farm runoff to individual farms so they could find the owners. For the most part, they were unable to prove the farm runoff polluted the bay. It does not help a herring factory sweeps the bay clean of herring while crab draggers dredge the bay's bottom every winter. Yeah, I don't like that, man. That's not good. As you point out, MSX oyster disease is rampant in spite of government trying to resist seed-resistant oysters. Check this out. Right here. Hold on, I want to show you guys something. This is fantastic. Let me pause it. Who worked in the energy industry and knows tons of fishermen, I have a little fishing secret to tell you. The warm discharge emitted from power plants are a favorite place for the lobsters. And I'm not joking. It's so good that lobster traps are not even allowed in these areas. The only problem is the out-of-staters who keep messing up the local traps and normal fishing grounds. So it's interesting, too, because what this guy was saying here, the the Nazis, they were saying basically, and I'll link the link, you can watch yourself, that the lobsters hated the warmth. They're like, nope, gotta get out of here, it's too warm. Well, apparently, according to real life boots on the ground fishermen, that's not true. Anyway, I don't know what to make of all this. It's interesting. I don't like lobster that much. I don't even like that much seafood, frankly. I love some crab, I'm not going to lie to you, but we're talking lobsters here. But I don't like oysters, don't like clams. I like beef, man. I'm a beef guy. But maybe one of the things you can do if you're is not eat lobsters. Just say, yeah, I don't want to kill I want to save the lobsters. Just don't eat them. You can't have a billion tons of lobsters being fished in a 10-year time frame and not have some significant long-term damage. That would be my thinking there. But it has nothing to do with climate change. It's nothing to do with the fertilizer. It's just stupid. All right. What are your thoughts? We'll see you.